back to Downtime Activities, and welcome back to the Curian Empire Epic 6 D&D campaign, inspired by a little bit of ancient Mediterranean history with plenty of our own ridiculousness and fantasy stuff thrown in. So, where we left off, the two of you with a former legionnaire stole some supplies and horses from an Imperial outpost.
And fled to the desert.
In order to track down a vision of a tomb in the desert.
Mm-hmm.
Flawless.
Essentially.
Flawless heist.
I mean, everything that we went in to get, we got.
To me, it
and
went
none of us
perfectly
died.
according to plan.
For you, it did go according to plan.
His part of the plan. It went so well, he did your part of the plan.
No, showing off my marathon running skills and taking legionaries on a loop through the city was absolutely my plan. 100% the plan. But also, there's someone else here? We don't need to worry about that yet.
And Jerry has... This campaign grows by a person every time I talk about it, so... yeah,
there's only so many seats.
Sooner or later, everybody else will be here. Who knows? There's only so many seats. We're going to need another table.
We're going to need a bigger room.
We're going to need more cameras.
So Jerry has joined us for his first outing in D&D. His character isn't here quite yet. But that shouldn't take very long. What are you two doing?
So we were in, like, the Angry Cow Ranch place, right?
You had, I believe you had just ridden out of the city.
Just left. Okay. So we have horses that you stole, and a bunch of supplies that you stole, and we're on horseback, riding out into the desert. So we know a rough area of terrain. At least our legionary friend has like seen something akin to that. So I think we're just on the path there.
Yeah, technically we're just following him because we don't know where it's at.
Okay.
Taking the roads.
It's going to be close to a week on horseback.
Is it obvious that we have Imperial tackle or like horse tack?
Yes. It's essentially only going to be an issue for like people associated with the Empire. If you run into legionaries, they might ask questions. If you ran into like the provincial governor, I don't know what he would be doing out here, and he'd probably have legionaries with him anyway. They might ask questions. If you're just like interacting with common folk, it's probably not going to be that big a deal.
I'm gonna do what I can to like maybe like lay out my square yard of silk in a way like kind of over the top of the saddle to at least somewhat disguise it. It won't make it completely covered up, but at least do something.
It might
hopefully.
manage your silk.
Ooh, I'm not doing that. Gotta keep the silk.
I don't know what you guys have planned for the silks, but I imagine it's when it comes up, it's going to be like, hey, cool.
I will do what I traditionally do and forget about it to the end.
I have an intent for that silk, so I don't want to let it get torn up. Instead, I'll hope for the best.
Fair strategy, isn't it?
I'll mutter a prayer to Apollo.
Okay.
I'll be like, kind of like, Apollo, may the glare get in their eyes if they look at my saddle. Thank you.
Okay.
I just won't worry about it.
Oh, prettiest and shiniest of the gods.
Shiniest at the very least. So are you just planning on riding through the night? Are you just trying to put distance on before you
I think we want to put distance on for a while, get away from the city before they start looking around, and then camp out.
Okay. You can do that.
Yeah.
That seems reasonable.
I mean, because technically, we don't know 100% if it's on a time frame or not, but us getting there sooner doesn't change anything. So.
And it's the gods who sent us on this mission, and they know we need to sleep.
Yeah.
This is an out of character moment.
Did
Do
you,
they, though?
did you hear that, Poseidon? The humans need to sleep.
What are they? A bunch
all
of
of our plans.
a bunch of weaklings can't go without sleep.
Poseidon throws a scroll that says "Our plan." Just like over his shoulder and just stops away at a
Oh,
huff.
a scroll. I thought you said a squirrel. I was like, what's a squirrel got to do with this?
Squirrel, tell them our plans.
Throws him into the water.
You don't have to speak with animals? No?
Yeah.
Fuck.
You know,
Yeah, I just picture a scroll, but it's got like golden leaves along the side of
That is
it.
where little tiny weedy sandals.
Hermes?
Yeah.
You're a squirrel?
Yeah.
Squirmies? Is that you?
You've heard of the awesome power of a magic scroll. Now get ready for magic squirrels.
You're right, Squirmies!
That makes me want to play.
Messenger of the gods!
That makes me want to play like a crazy, like a wild magic sorcerer or like a crazy wizard in D&D who instead of spell scrolls, he has spell squirrels.
He just pulls around like, fireball!
Yes, it's just like so
Sacrificial.
he just goes up to the road and he's like, I've prepared some spell scrolls for you of invisibility and sight. And he passes and he's like spell scrolls.
He pulls out a squirrel, snaps his neck, and is like,
What does
here
he
you
have
are.
to do to activate it? Like smack the person with the squirrel?
He kills the squirrel and they have to eat the entire squirrel.
I love the idea that they have to kill it in order to activate it.
kill
He just,
it
like,
in an
gives the rogue 2 live squirrels that he then has to like hold through his.
This is an amazing plan.
What
All
does
right,
that
all right.
sound?
Let's get back in. Let's get back in.
How do you do that in a future?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Awesome.
I'm all for that.
God. What's that sound as he gets stabbed? Those are the squirrels in the pouch. I know.
Keep a close eye. I hear there could be trouble tonight. What was that? Invisorogue.
Well, I love the idea of like the rogue loses a grip on one of the squirrels and it's like running away. And one of the guards is like, "I bet I could hit that squirrel with my bow," and he hits it.
Fireball.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Tangent aside.
You gotta
Amazing
roll,
tangent aside.
You gotta roll dexes.
Oh, that's very funny.
It's amazing.
That's terrifying.
Spell squirrels. Spell squirrels. Spell squirrels.
Yeah, they're saying the same thing, right? Yeah.
Ay.
Anyway, they're resting
you guys,
or whatever.
You guys can rest.
We'll rest.
You guys can
Similarly,
rest through the night.
like, again, we ride through the night, but I am very steady and unfazed in riding through the night. I'm used to long travel. And so I'll stay up to do like a first watch for the night. And I assume we'll take it in turns, the 3 of us, to do.
And
I'm not-
Avantius
We
is-
have another
I
person.
was like,
Avantius is well used to long shifts at watch and stuff, so he doesn't mind.
Make sure there's no sneaky little somethings coming up trying to rob us.
There's not.
All right. Onward.
Are you accusing him of being thief?
Accusing.
I don't know what he is.
Are you accusing me?
Don't mind that I helped him stat his character. I have no idea what he is. I've never met the man.
Hey, your character doesn't.
Exactly.
Your character doesn't even know my existence.
Exactly.
The next day, Avantius just leads you deeper into the desert. These roads are still fairly well traveled, but it's getting drier. Sort of the farther from the river you travel. You're relying more on wells or stuff like that, or like cisterns as you're traveling. And all through the course of that day, it gets hotter, drier, and the landscape gets even more arid than it already was. By the end of that day, you're sort of past even sort of the farthest out of farms from the river, and you're sort of just camped out in open desert.
Gotcha. The one thing is we can see most things coming.
Hard to sneak up on someone in the desert.
Yep.
I just don't like this dry hair.
Pretty sure this is my life. Pretty sure I'm used to this.
The
Yeah,
further
you're like,
south,
I hadn't noticed.
the further south we go, the more I feel like my nose is cracking. Miss the spray of seawater and humidity.
Just taste like sand everywhere.
It gets everywhere.
It's
Avantius,
of course.
Avantius just
Unlike
kinds
you.
of shrugs, uncorking
Water skin.
like a wineskin and passing it around.
Cheers, friend.
I'll take some, I guess. Liquid. It's gonna be important.
Yes,
I
this will
don't-
be good hydration.
We grabbed enough resources for like a week there, week back kind of trip.
You'll definitely have enough food,
Mhm.
and as long as you and you'll have enough water for a few days at least. So as long as and like up to this point, you've been able to rely on sort of like wells and little villages or
Gotcha.
stuff like that.
Okay. Continue.
Mhm.
Sleep.
Same plan each day. Travel as much as we can. Camp out with watches. Trust our friend here.
The next day, you guys will pass through a little village. So it's kind of built along a little oasis. There's a couple of farms here. Nothing large, and there doesn't even really seem to be an imperial like military presence here at all. It doesn't seem big enough for that. It's just a little simple counter village.
Gotcha.
And that's sort of around midday, kind of early afternoon. Much later in the afternoon, as the terrain has gotten hillier and a little more broken. It's certainly not mountainous, and it's definitely not like foothills. But it means you can't just like see all the way to the horizon.
Just kind of like dunes.
It's toe hills.
It's turning towards dunes.
Nice.
If you had a point of inspiration, I'd take it away.
Maybe a heel hill.
You are now at -1.
We'll get that back.
You'll get that back at the end of the session.
You'll get that back once you've learned your lesson.
Which
Have
is never.
inspiration back when you learn.
I'm never gonna get this back.
It's sort of towards the end of the day that, or getting kind of in towards evening, where Avantius is kind of riding the lead, slows his horse to a stop, and seems to be like watching something out in the hills ahead.
I'm gonna kind of ride up next to him and see if I can spot what he's looking at.
Evangelist, what do you see with your elf eyes?
Avantius is a human.
Oh,
Let's see what my elf eyes see. 18.
18. Do you want to roll a perception check, Brendan, or just do you just not care? Which is totally valid.
14.
14. You would see at the very least some amount of movement.
Okay.
Like you can definitely see that it's like kind of what Avantius has spotted. You, Tersius, would like whatever's ahead is seems to be a wagon accompanied by either a couple of couple of riders or a couple of people on foot. It's like it's kind
Looks
of
like a escorted wagon.
That just kind of nods and like kind of jumps down off his horse. Your horses aren't going to wander all that far. They're over there. It's like,
Yeah.
they're not like Skyrim horses, a stolen Skyrim horse. So if you jump off it, it just
I gotta get back!
It just starts on the road back to wherever it was you stole it from. The horse, like he just kind of leaves his horse, and these are trained military mounts anyway. And he kind of moves up to the top of one of these kind of low hills that are kind of turning to dunes, and kind of like lays down on top.
So we see them. Do we think they see us?
It's hard to tell at this distance.
Okay.
Avantius. Should we just pull off and let him pass in case it's an Imperial?
take the shawl to leave a beat.
They're not
Choice
Imperials,
yours.
lad. It's hard to tell, but you may have sharper eyes than me. It looks like a prison wagon. Slavers, maybe.
Maybe you should pull his horse and yours around the side, and be a surprise on them if they try anything.
Okay. I feel like this can't go wrong.
No, not at all.
I don't want to like criticize Well, I particularly don't want to criticize anybody's RP because I feel like I'm on the but you phrased that in such a weird way.
Why'd
You should be a surprise on me.
Yeah, not a
It's
surprise
intentional.
to them, a surprise on them.
Tersius is trying to be who he's not. And that's why he sounds like an idiot.
Avantius kind of waves at least you forward.
Okay.
It's kind of to where he's playing, and he's like, again, he's like, he's kind of got that look on his face of like, it's kind of hard to tell from here, but he's like, I think there's 6 of them. Common slavers, I doubt any of them are. I mean, even if they know how to fight, I doubt any of them are soldiers.
6 of them, but how many are in that?
Well, I mean, I'm sure anyone inside of there would love to be free, and I have no. I don't wish to see them stay in the wagon, of course, but it might be for the best that we just let the wagon pass and try and hide. They may have seen us, though.
If we hit them hard enough or fast enough, some may flee, especially if they have horses to do it.
My question is, what are the people in this wagon? What did they do to get arrested? Because if they're like,
Well, it may not be arrested. They may just be
Just
innocent
slaves.
people who have been captured. We don't have much time to decide. I'd be happy. If our plan is to try and hit them hard, perhaps I could talk at the front, keep them busy, and you guys could move in quietly around and hit them before they realize. In case they have seen us, there's at least still a rider here, they won't necessarily be suspicious. And then, if they are well-meaning people, then it won't be a problem. They wouldn't cause me any trouble, and they can ride along.
If they're slavers, I doubt they will be.
I want to look back over and try and get a closer look
Give me
and
another perception.
see if I can
See if you can
differentiate with the
pick that up.
wagon.
Now that like the distance has closed.
14.
14. These definitely are not soldiers. They definitely don't look like hired guards or mercenaries. They look almost more like bandits. There only seems to be one person in the cage, as far as you can tell. There's space for more than one, but there only seems to be one in there at present.
Wagon could be useful for carrying supplies too.
It's a wagon drawn by 2 horses. There's 2 people. There's 2 people riding on the wagon, and another 4.
boy, we
walking
wouldn't have had to
alongside
get
of it.
horses if we would have just found this earlier.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's try and do. Do we think a distraction and then moving around, or do we want to all try and maybe?
So there's
Get them by
6 of them. We
surprise.
can either fight 2 to 1, or we can try and surprise.
I just don't know if we'll be more likely to surprise with or without me at a hopefully respectable distance,
That's true.
drawing their attention.
You can always just ride in on horseback, make a lot of noise.
Leroy
Like
Jenkins?
cavalry.
Kind of is Leroy Jenkins at that point. Which, is a strategy. It does work sometimes.
These are war horses, are they not?
They're trained. The horses won't spook.
I won't spook.
Quick meta question. We're not trained on horseback, right? Maybe Avantius is, but
That's only gonna necessarily matter if like the horses get spooked.
Okay.
Like if you're I'll ask for animal handling checks if like
it comes
if you are having to try and control the horse.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
So I just realized I'm prepared for this. These are the weapons you fight with on a horse. So
Not so much, but not necessarily not at the same time. Do we want to blitzkrieg it, or do we want to try and do something sneaky? If we can get surprise, it might be able to remove some factors from this equation before it starts. But being on horseback, if they don't have a lot of ranged options, could be quite useful itself.
I agree, and honestly, I'm okay with either. I don't think I'll be any less prepared, however we do it. So when it comes to stealth, I'm relatively decent, but nothing dramatically special about that. So started opening books. Anything else on
An
your list?
important thing is, I think we've been wrong about that.
The short sword?
No, about it, the javelin. 'Cause it's not a finesse weapon.
Is it not?
No. That's what I was talking about when we were looking at his stuff.
It's true, but it's thrown. If
Thrown,
I remember,
I think.
I thought thrown had. If the weapon is a thrown property, you can throw the weapon to make a ranged attack. If the weapon is a melee weapon, you can use the same ability modifier for that attack roll and damage roll you'd use. For example, if you throw a hand axe, you can use strength. But if you throw a dagger, you can use either strength
So it'd
or
have to
dex.
have finesse. So I don't think your javelin works as well for you as you wanted to.
That's weird.
You have to use strength for it.
But wait a minute.
Thrown weapons still have to use the same statistic that they're able to. Finesse just means you're able to use dex for
Then
weapon.
what was it that I'm thinking of that has it's tacked in? What am I thinking of? It's not thrown.
You have anything of light? Light is just that you're able to dual wield it.
No, there's one of these features that maybe it's versatile.
Versatile is you can use it one or two handed. And it has different damage die depending.
Okay, yeah. I will look at this and then adjust that then. So it's just going to be the regular +4, correct?
Plus. No, I think
Oh no, it's going to be.
Are you proficient in it?
Yeah.
So +3.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. That's what I have in most of my stuff too.
Now is that the same with the spear? No, the
Yeah.
spear.
Spear doesn't use dex. But you're proficient in it, but it'd use strength, so it'd be +3 as well.
I could have sworn these could have been
It's
like
really-
if they're thrown that you can use dex for
Mhm.
these. That's
I think that's a misconception we've had in the past.
yeah.
But anyway,
What's the plan?
stealth or charge? What's your opinion?
I think that's the worst of the ones that's charged.
I think that, mobility on horseback, we should focus on the ones that are on horseback, and hopefully that'll give us a better chance.
Gotcha.
At maintaining some distance from them and kind of choosing the engagements. I'm not great at a range.
Not all of the people around the wagon are on horseback.
So there's 6 people, but how many of them are on horse?
2 on the wagon, 2 on foot, 2 on horseback.
Gotcha.
I think this is the 911 dispatch call. Hello? Yeah, it's just our county saying that there's a missing person. And it's going to keep calling if I keep projecting it.
Just answer it and hang up really quickly.
So, let's do it. Yeah, so I guess
Just horseback?
horseback. I'm going to have the sword is on the hip. The staff I'm going to kind of sling into the saddle, and I'm going to have my newer dagger, not my nice dagger, in my hand, kind of ready to throw it as we're riding up.
Okay.
Because that's the way. Because we're 0th level characters.
Yay!
Avantius
Don't have a
will
ton of options.
Draw his weapon, which is his sword.
Is his more like a short sword, or is? Okay.
It's
like
more
a
akin to a
legion.
military issue like Gladius
Okay.
than it is like something sort of longer and custom made.
Riding on, charging at him. I guess to start, it's kind of just picking up pace
Right.
for me, at least kind of riding towards them briskly until we get a good idea of who they are, and then we can maybe.
As you guys get closer, they look like slavers. They have quite a few sort of chains and manacles and stuff currently that they're not using. A lot of them are carrying whips. 5 of the 6 of them all seem to be the same level of like
Haggard's desert.
not haggard, but like they don't look like they definitely don't look like professional soldiers. They're all armed, but they just don't necessarily sort of move or act with the same level of sort of rigor or not necessarily professionalism but like training.
Okay.
And then one of them on the wagon is riding passenger on the wagon seems to be sort of fancier dressed and a little better armored, at least.
Okay.
He also doesn't necessarily carry himself like a soldier, but
Seems like he's funding this operation.
The pompous rich dude who has never gotten his hands dirty once in his
He's
life.
getting his hands dirty with a lot of crime and slavery.
Oh,
I'll
so
get my
kill
hands dirty
him
with his
first.
first. Now kill him last, probably. We want to kill. Who's on the horse? There's those two on the wagon. Is there any other horses, or are all the people around?
there's 2 on horseback, but it's the same sort. It's the same sort of level of just like they're both armed, they both have whips.
Just so we can kind of hit and run if we want to. I think focusing the horsemen is a good start.
Okay.
So we're riding hard. That's initiative.
Initiative rolls. You can give an initiative roll too, Jerry. Oh.
Does it look like there's a child in the wagon?
They look short, at least.
These monsters!
I mean,
I'll have the
if
heads.
that's a child, it's kind of a beefy child.
Although
Broad shouldered. And like,
So it's just whatever I land
it's
on.
that plus your initiative bonus.
So 20.
Damn good initiative.
22. The only thing I'm good at.
I'm glad that I'm at least, I'm the brawny guy of the group. Definitely not the dexterous.
Okay, so 22 is the highest over there.
Eventually.
And then you
Right
had
now,
a
we all have the
22.
exact same armor class currently.
Yes.
What was yours?
Mine is a 13.
13. Roll again.
That's a crit fail on the second roll.
Okay.
So I'm
boy,
going second.
boy. So, hold on. I'm proficient in the Kopesh, which is a long sword, a spear, and a javelin, but not a short sword. So I don't even get that.
So going up first
Shit.
Where's 0 from?
is
That's a
Asim.
-1 to hit.
Asim.
I seen you do something.
Asim. I saw.
He's praying right now.
Asim.
We seen, we saw, we kicked its ass.
we kicked its ass. Ray, if somebody asks if you're
Focus
a
on the
god,
horseman.
you say yes.
How far away are we from them? By the way, was our plan to talk or attack first?
They seem like they have a child.
They
in
definitely
chains.
look like slavers. There's like at this distance, you're pretty sure there's no doubt.
Is there slavery in Ayara?
Yeah, kind of everywhere.
So our assumption is these is bad dudes.
Because I kind of feel like my family probably had some.
Yes,
But it's like
there's-
well treated. It's not. It's different than like.
Yeah, and it's kind of something we went over in like
Yeah.
the first episode. Like this isn't like the chattel slavery system that existed for way too long in the United States. Quite often slaves were sort of trusted members of the household. Not always. They were quite often treated very badly, and slavers are still scumbag. Especially people who take and deal slaves.
Mhm.
Scumbags.
And they would probably try and take and deal us. And they seem aggressive as we approach, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's intent there.
Okay. How far away are we from them?
You could get a. By the time we're like rolling initiative, you could get up and make a melee attack on one of people.
Melee, huh?
Or unless you have something else in mind.
Unless you want to keep the distance.
I do have ranged options, so I'm gonna try the
If you got
ranged,
a ranged option, then range option.
May I recommend the ranged option?
I'm gonna get like 25 feet away from
Okay.
one of them, and at that point, I'm going to throw the javelin. Yeah, javelin.
Okay.
Looks like
That's
a
right.
bad
That's
number.
a 15.
That'll hit.
Is that? No, wait. The javelin was that one we were talking about. It's the strength one.
Yeah, we got 2 strength.
Ah,
so
that's a
that's
10.
10? A 10 will. I'm thinking these guys probably aren't really wearing armor.
Mm-mm. Do they have a dex modifier? Is really what it is.
Yeah. So a 10 is going to
Miss.
10's gonna miss.
That's all I got.
We're 0 level.
Okay.
I don't think I'm next.
You can't really do any unless you have a like range damage option.
I've got.
I guess you don't have your
You don't have your
you
spell
don't have your
focus.
staff. Yeah.
Yeah, they have your staff, so you can't cast your spells.
So I guess on your turn you see a cavalry charge out of the desert, but it's not soldiers. It's like a sort of.
Okay, let me ask
older
this: like,
looking
am I butt ass naked in this?
You're probably in like underclothes, unless you don't own underclothes, in which case you might be just
Okay,
naked.
so yeah, I came with underclothes.
But you are. But
He
you
came,
are,
he
you
saw, he had underclothes.
but you are chained up in the back, and they have taken your things.
I'm just gonna.
So I guess we can kind of describe what he sees.
Okay.
As good a time as any.
Riding up, you see, for one, I am a elf on horseback charging forward. He is very broad. He's like tall, big, bulky. He's very like Herculean, like Greek hero build. Like he's very buff. He's very big. He's strong.
A statue that looks like this.
He looks like the kind of guy from a statue. Although, like, he's clean-faced, whether he can't grow a beard or it's shaven. He's got, like, kind of mid-length, wavy brown hair, tan skin. He's intimidating, imposing, big, but also looks somewhat young or childish a little bit in the face. Charging forward, kind of a dagger up in the air, ready to throw it, hopefully.
Wearing
a definitely not a tabaxi pelt.
It's like kind of a leopard.
Definitely.
It's kind of. I have like a leopard hide on currently.
Yeah. He got himself a good kill. I kind of mumble that loud enough to where they might hear me and like tell me to shut up, but I'm just like.
They seem to be busy with other things.
Yeah, I don't hear you under the hoof beats below me. Yeah.
I look like that.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, that color.
Like,
and
That is
essentially
golden
an
eye.
See, now that's intimidating as fuck.
He's also tall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm 6'2", he's 6'4", right? 6'6".
6'6".
Yeah.
I'm average dwarf height, whatever that is.
I'm pretty sure it's
Like
literally
4'2"
half
or
of
something.
me.
And it's like 4.5. It's like they go up
Below
to
4
like
feet.
5 feet, so it's like 4.5 feet or 4'8" or something like that.
It's to 7 ways.
All right, there we go.
The short sword.
That's really all I'm gonna
Yeah.
like.
So
I'm just
short
gonna
sword
I'm
is
just gonna sit there and just watch.
So it'll be just your plus 4.
A little to the right. As I'm
So
gonna
much
shot
zero
at him
Zero
after he
characters are
misses.
so weird.
I erase so
So
much.
after you miss the javelin throw, I'm just gonna shout, "More to the right."
That's his job. I didn't.
Thank you.
And the third one is a like older man. Looks like a military veteran in kind of leather armor.
Oh, he ain't long for this world.
And
He's the best warrior of the three of us, I'm sure.
and like fairly visible scarring and stuff like that.
We can swoon him because he has character levels.
He's without a doubt the shortest of the three, but also looks the most battle-hardened of the three. And it is his turn. So
He beat.
just,
Well, my character obviously doesn't have all that armor.
He did.
He's not naked, but he's got like pelt. And he's wearing the
He's
armor.
very much wearing like the typical like almost Egyptian warrior wear, where it's
He
like
kinda
he's
just
kind of like
normal.
he's
More
got
like
like
Egyptian citizen,
yeah.
civilian wear.
Not naked. Damn
Not
close.
us.
See?
Neither of us are.
And
And
Well,
he's
I'm
got
technically
the,
armored, but
just
just
the cross with the
Yeah,
loop on its
yeah,
feet.
He cannot. He rides by and takes a swing, and the guy like straight up dives to the ground to avoid it. And like Avantius doesn't seem like he's doing a lot of like sort of yelling and rallying and stuff. Like he doesn't at all seem bothered that he's just like missed this guy. For him it seems more
It's part
about
of the
like,
charge.
the shock
It's the
value
shock.
and like.
Oi, let me out! I can help you guys defeat these three.
And then after that, it is Tersius.
Riding up, I will throw a dagger at one of the ones on horseback.
Don't fuck it up.
Oof, I fucked it up. That's a 7.
I will miss.
So I chuck the bad dagger, and then I'm going to draw out the sword. Can I, like, try and let out a war cry?
Sure.
That's on my bonus action?
Sure, I'll let you know.
Okay. Can I do, like, an intimidation roll on that, or is there anything there that's
Yeah,
just, like...
I'll let you do an
okay.
intimidation. Huh?
I don't have proficiency, but I'm pretty charismatic. 12.
12? Okay.
So I'm going to chuck that at him, and draw out the sword ready.
They, at the very least, know you're fucking serious. That does not seem to have harmed their opinion of you in any way.
Okay, good. I'll take that. And she wasn't like, ah!
Yeah. Your voice doesn't crack in the middle.
I already look enough like Tarzan. I don't need to go, ah!
Janine, good.
It will be their turn. The sword return on the wagon just seems to be standing up and kind of yelling orders.
Are they Kinra?
No, they all seem to be human.
I was like, those bastards.
Those bastards.
Me.
Kinra. I hate Kinra.
Oi,
Just as much as I
let me
hate
out.
war.
I can help you.
Damn it.
Oi, money bags.
They'll so there for this round there will be an attack coming at
Each.
each of them.
What is the attack coming at me? What kind of attack?
He's just gonna run up and try and stab you.
When he runs up, I would like to use my maneuver.
You get pressed.
I will use my maneuver reaction of brace to attack him with the
I will
longsword.
put my D20 down.
Hey,
because
come
I might
on,
see
hit.
it.
Come on, hit, please. Oh, the dice are not on my
It was
side.
20.
It was on a 20 and it just rolled over to a 2. That's a 7.
You're still getting used to this whole I'm actually in battle trying to kill someone.
Which means this all makes a lot of sense that I've rolled terrible in every combat encounter so far.
Does a 15 hit you?
It sure does. I'm probably going down.
4 damage.
4? Okay. I'm still up.
Is
that
that-
is more than
That
half,
is more
though.
than half. Okay.
That's a
give
con
me
save?
Is...
Ah, that's good. That is 18.
Okay,
I'm
totally fine. And roll one at you.
I wasted my maneuver.
That's gonna hit.
Okay. Is it a crit, though? Oh,
What?
1 damage.
that's the most damage I've taken since we started this campaign.
This is not the most time.
Probably once again, this is probably the first time you've ever actually been injured in a fight, but
Yeah.
it's a scratch. It's not a very good attack.
Was it a sword?
Are they
It's a
using
sword, and it's it's as you're passing by. It's extremely minor, but it is very much the I've been wounded in battle for the first time. It's not like his first wounded battle where
I got
it's
stabbed in the
actually
fucking
and then
disemboweled.
swing at Avantius.
Too bad I can't just through the bars touch the tall darker brute and just go smite.
Avantius takes a stab, which does not seem to phase him.
It's just sticking in him. Nope.
All right, let's do this.
It's kind of on one thigh, and it seems to be a exceedingly minor wound.
Okay.
So back around to the top with Asim.
Oi,
30 feet.
money bags. Let me out of here. I can help you.
You say that to the slaver?
Yeah.
And before he lets him out, and this first level character wipes the floor with us.
I imagine it more like when they let Django out of the prison
Oh,
wagon
yes.
and give him a gun, and he just very casually kills a whole bunch of people and blows up Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
Imagine more like that.
But I don't
That's
think
some good
they're
shit.
listening to me either way.
Yeah.
Just like oi.
There seems to be way too much going on.
So as just being stabbed a little, not fond of that.
Right. I don't blame you.
So I'm gonna point at the guy that just stabbed me. I'm guessing he's up close, right? I'm gonna summon this hand of shadow that just
Right.
grabs his face.
Okay.
It literally has nothing that changes besides a shadow that is grabbed.
So you're just using Mage Hand and just grabbing his face?
Yeah.
What in the fuck?
Oh yeah, no one's seen this. So.
That was in the desert!
I don't know what this man. He's just he's not being hurt in any way by this, but he's just standing there screaming. Let's roll morale for the rest of the group. and see.
Why did I drop that to a crit?
Everybody else seems to be taking it surprisingly well.
The guys who don't have the hand on
The
it.
rest of the slavers, they're obviously kind of not about it, but they're not. It doesn't look like they're about to break and run from it. But the guy who has it on his face is just standing there screaming. He doesn't really know what to do.
Perfect. That's all I needed.
Okay. Would you like to continue to be sassy on your turn?
Yeah, I'm just gonna be like, oi, hey, oi,
Ozzy.
oi. Let me help you. I can help you. Come on.
By the way, we need to remember if one of them is gonna leave, we need to find the dude with the key and take that key.
Okay,
Yeah, we can bring it along
Avantius
if we have
will try and stab the man that stabs you.
Help me out of here. Come on. Let me out.
Ooh, that definitely could
And just a fine blow.
Oh, that man did.
Hey.
And at this point, Avantius isn't just like riding full war. Like he's kind of just like he's just kind of in the fray, and like the guy who like wounds him, he just kills with a single. A single blow.
So typical like any fantasy thing where you're on a horseback, you're just like swinging at
So
your
me
son.
next.
Trim the grass.
Yes.
The other guy's next to me still, I assume, too?
Yep.
I will swing. There we go, that's an 18.
Oh yeah.
And I'm swinging two-handed, because why not?
Good choice.
So you're just giving up on controlling your horse.
Oh. I mean, I just was riding hard with it, and as this guy came up, I think, yeah, I just picked it up too. I assume it'll keep riding straight. It's a warhorse, right? That's 6.
Yeah. He did.
Hey!
You killed a man.
That's the first human being. That's the first time I've killed something that wasn't an animal.
You strike him and he falls dead.
Oi! Don't get a weak stomach now.
And
Just, yeah.
can I
Lead.
try and, with my move, direct the horse towards the back of the wagon?
Last time
Okay.
we did this. He was in a little shock. I speared a dude through the throat, though, and it was a good time.
My horse comes riding up towards the back of the wagon. That's my turn. I assume I can't do anything else.
Okay. There are 2 left on the wagon. 1 on the ground and 1 on horseback. The nobleman seems slightly more like frantic at this point. They still very slightly have the numbers advantage.
I don't know if I've hit the first attack.
But because there's only 1 guy on horseback, and there's 1 guy on horseback, 1 guy on the ground, and the other 2 on the wagon, Fancy Pants doesn't want to go get in a fight, and he doesn't want his driver to go get in a fight. So there's just going to be attacks at 2 of you.
Please not.
Let's do these for 1.
You only took 1 damage. He should hit you with an attack.
That's fine.
1, 2. Avantius will be 3. I'll reroll 4s.
Yeah, it's gonna be a 4 on the first roll, just so you know.
4.
It happens every time. Every time.
Okay, so there will be 1 attack at you.
And the second one.
Reroll.
Ones and 4s.
And 4s.
It's gonna be a 1.
3 is Avantius.
Lucky.
You'll be attacking you.
Thank Apollo. Thank you.
Is your AC a 6?
No.
Okay then.
Hooray!
There was much rejoice.
The guy with the hand on his face is just kind of like swinging his sword and still screaming.
Perfect.
And he's easy enough to avoid. Then 1 on horseback will go for Avantius.
I never looked forward to
Which
crit
will
fails,
hit.
and I have with this character.
It hits, but again, Avantius doesn't seem all that bothered by it.
Hey,
This man.
sturdy man.
It's gonna be bleeding.
He got hit twice. I mean, getting hit once and not going down is a feat in my eyes.
So my god.
Well, I've been hit once, 2 times now, and not gone down. And I see myself and I'm made of sterner stuff.
Well, and that's everybody. So it's back around to Asim.
Which one of these is? Sorry, I have not used these weapons. Okay, yeah, I'll take this spear off and stab the dude. That is a 15.
That'll hit.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna use both hands. So if that changes anything with the animal,
No, not really.
since it's not moving.
Yeah. You're not necessarily charging anywhere.
Nice. 6.
So. 6.
6 damage.
He did.
Hey.
Nicely done.
Those long sticks with pointy ends do the most
That's
damage.
indeed. Best KD, 2 kills.
Best candy in the party. Best candy in the party.
I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. Just see him right up next to me and be like, "Oi, stranger,
the fight,
reckon you can help me out
the
here?"
fight seems to be going quite badly for the slavers who captured you.
Boy, Simpson, right?
I'm gonna roll we'll do a wisdom. Wisdom or intelligence for this. Well, no, it's Avantius' turn. They don't get a chance to flee until their turn. What am I saying?
Did he crit him? That's
That
too dumb.
sounds like multiple
Twice as
dice.
many dice.
I didn't even think about that. Critting right now is just ungodly.
It just
It
just
is.
does.
Because even
No,
your
it is.
rogues-
It is. This is a master stroke of an attack. It is. It is the attack by a man who has been in combat a lot over the course of his life and has not forgotten.
I want him to teach
any
me how to do
of
that.
those skills.
Yeah, so
Teach
do
me
that.
how to roll a 20 and a
It's
20.
it's such a and it's against another person on horseback. It's like as the horses sort of like almost get tangled up briefly. It's just this beautiful parry and thrust. And Avantius seems to as the attack lands, Avantius seems to already know that the man is dead and has just sort of turned away and is still just
What a
I
badass.
pushed him. He
Yelling
fell onto my blade. That's how good I am.
yelling and raising help. It is Tersius. The only two combatants, the only two slavers left are the two on the wagon, and you are at the back of the wagon, right?
Yes. Is he in cuffs or is he just? Yeah.
He seems to be chained up in the wagon.
I'm gonna still be like,
Lock
let
him.
me help you out of there, friend. And I'm going to try and take the staff. I'm gonna put the sword back in the scabbard,
Okay.
draw the staff out, and try and smash the lock
Okay.
on the back of the wagon.
Just give me athletics, I think.
Okay. I'm pretty good. This rose die has been fucking me, but I'm gonna go for it. 11.
11.
Much
You
better.
definitely hit it. It doesn't break the lock.
Okay. Pink. I'd be like,
Would
a couple more of
I
those.
know where the key is, mate?
Not necessarily. I mean, you were locked up by one of the guards.
Oh, okay.
But it's probably safe to assume that Fancy Pants has the keys.
Yeah.
I'd be like, a couple more of those and you're out of there.
Why don't you just find the bloody key?
On their turn, I mean,
They're on the
they're
wagon.
on the wagon. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, they're trying to just haul ass away on the wagon, but it's a wagon with a big iron cage in the back of it. It's not light.
I mean, we can catch up to it.
And some supplies and equipment. It's it's really not moving all that fast. I mean, you might have a hard time running after it, but
On horseback, we'll barely
horseback
keep
is nothing. So that's back around to Asim.
Okay. I guess I will move to the front where they are at. No, I lied. I'm gonna grab my javelin that I dropped a long time ago
Okay.
and pick that up, and then proceed to the front.
Yeah, you can pick it up.
For
Or
free.
stick it up out of the ground. Sure.
And then get up there and is threatening someone in action.
Depends on how you're
threatening.
going about threatening.
I think killing the driver would be pretty threatening. Personally.
Yeah. I'm just gonna attack Fancy Pants.
What are you doing? I'm just going to intimidate them a little bit. Shoots them.
See, the rest of them are very intimidating.
Execution style threatening. Yeah, I'm just gonna go up there. I assume they're sitting kind of higher up.
On horseback, you're about on level with them.
Okay. Then yeah. I'm gonna stab him with the javelin.
Okay. You're going for the driver?
Yeah,
Okay.
fancy guy.
Well, the fancy guy's not the driver.
Oh, the
Fancy guy's in the passenger seat.
Yeah, you want the driver so they'll stop.
yeah. I'm attacking the driver. That was 11. Javelin is it only 12 to hit?
12 will hit the driver.
Oh, okay, cool. Was not expecting that. For 5.
For 5,
5 damage.
that'll be con save. HE crit fails.
That's death.
No, now I roll the d10.
Now he rolls to see
whether or not he just...
He probably just and lets go of the reins.
It is worth noting, and I've talked with Jerry about this a little bit, and for those sort of, if this is the first episode you're watching,
First of all, watch the first 3.
this is an epic 6, so the capstone level is 6. The world is sort of adjusted accordingly, just to make it a little more brutal, and we're using a couple of optional and rather brutal bolt-on rules from the DMG. The one I'm using currently is massive damage. So I'm about to roll off the system shock table, which is another 1, which is the creature drops to 0.
And not stable, drops to 0.
So you catch up with his wagon and just spear the driver right off of it.
I have to remember this javelin. This thing has done some shit.
Can I just try to charm the fancy pants about and be like, so you look like you're out of options. better leave the key.
He's probably going to just what he'll probably do is jump off of the wagon, which is probably going to be rolling to a stop before too far anyway, because of just because there's nobody just whipping the horses, and he will just fall to his knees in the middle of the road and beg for mercy.
Okay. I'm gonna try and whack that lock again.
Okay.
I like the idea that he's riding behind on horseback, just continually trying to
drop
whack
out of initiative at this point.
Oh, that could have been great. 14.
14. Another mighty blow.
Why don't you just find the bloody key?
There's like a little spray of blood in my face. Good point. Good point. And I slide that back in. I'm gonna start riding over towards that guy, drawing the sword back out.
Okay. He is
Groveling.
groveling.
Do you have the key?
He very sort of tearfully, and with very shaky hands produces a ring of keys.
I'm gonna scoop it up with the sword, kind of slide it down to the handle, and then take it off.
Okay.
Guess put him in irons or something? Let me get this guy. I'm gonna ride back over towards the wagon. Is the lock still unlockable after I've whacked it a couple times? I didn't distort it to where...
It's definitely bent. You definitely have to kind of put some muscle into it, but you can especially once you've gotten the key to turn, you have to kind of haul on it a little bit to get it to pop open, but you can...
Oh, an elf. That explains a lot.
He's sassy against his
Boys, I was just kidding. You never heard of a joke.
I am here. Goodbye.
Unlock the damn door. Get me out of here.
This seems to be a dwarf.
Have I seen dwarfs before?
Probably not.
Alright.
What are you doing out here in the desert?
I can ask the same of you.
Well, at least I'm only one COA.
Your point?
How did you get here?
Hey, my business is my own. I don't feel the need to tell you anything.
Well, I'd like to know your business before I unlock your binds.
To be fair, we did kind of screw him if we don't unlock his binds. He is stuck out here.
See? Your friend's speaking logic.
By the way, what do we do with him, who I assume is probably running at this point?
Is he running?
He's still... He seems to be waiting for a moment when you're not all, watching him before he makes it.
You best pray, fancy pants, that they don't let me out of here. You're done for if I get out of here.
I'm gonna toss the ring of keys to you, and then ride back over and hop off and stand over the guy, the human other dude, and be
I'll unlock his cuffs. Either I'm about
turn
to
out your
die or I
pockets.
just helped someone.
Okay.
Good man.
He'll turn out a total
thing. I get that.
50 gold.
Hot damn.
I'm assuming I'm.
He's wearing some Dorian stuff as well. He seems to be wearing like essentially a breastplate, as far as armor's concerned, and he's got a like a scimitar on his head.
I'm gonna be like, strip it all off, down to what you put him in.
He will again sort of tearfully and grovelingly do so.
Have outside of like knowing.
You said a breastplate and what else? Sorry.
Scimitar.
Okay.
Knowing him outside of like elves, probably. Would I have seen his race before?
If you're up
Yeah, especially around here. Yeah.
Okay.
I am in the common race around
you would
here.
know that they're sort of the local species.
If you would notice anything, it's that I would probably be a little bit darker than most of the
He's-
other
Because
also
they're
taller
they're the
than quite a few.
what are they called? The Curians?
Kenra.
Kenra. Yeah. Kenra.
Roll me a perception check.
Perception.
So add your perception skill bonus.
So 20.
20?
Not a natural 20, but just a 20.
Dirty 20,
Dirty 20.
as they're called.
An unnatural 20. It's a nice.
As you're sort of climbing out of the cage and like walking back towards over towards where the elf is making the slaver like strip down to his skivvies, the Kenra's shadow cast on the sand by the bright desert sun is strangling the shadow of the slaver fairly aggressively.
I'm gonna be like, now I want you to rethink your life, find cleaner work, and get out of here.
I'm just gonna say, giving me ideas. I'm gonna go look for my staff.
Okay, you can absolutely find all of your possessions.
I'm gonna grab my staff. I'm just gonna walk over to.
I'm trying to ship the guy off into the desert.
I'm
and
just
like,
gonna,
give him a
I'm
kick
just
on
gonna
the
find
ass as
that.
it goes.
I'm gonna go back to the slaver and just be like,
We killed 5 people, right?
Yes.
I'm just gonna go back to the slaver and I'm gonna hit him with the thorn whip. I'm gonna use a.
Okay. Is that a save I have to roll or a?
I think it's an attack
Go to the
roll.
spells back there for us.
Thorn whip.
Almost there.
Yeah. You kind of give this guy a kick on the ass.
I'm like, rethink your life. Make something of yourself, not so
leaving
dirty.
behind a pile of fancy clothes, a breastplate, a sword, obviously the gold that you got, kind of a handful of.
So it's
a couple of
melee
rings
spell attack. So
and
you're
stuff
going
like
to roll
that.
that one.
Can I just like write jewelry
And
somewhere
your
for us to sell later?
modifiers are going to
And Avantius
be-
seems to more or less be doing the same thing. He seems to have rounded up an extra horse.
Harrison. Do you want to help him do the modifiers?
Oh yeah, we didn't write those down.
Oh yeah.
So your
Oh,
spellcasting ability is wisdom. I just put like WIS, whiz.
Just trying to be in front of the camera.
Your spell save DC is 8 plus your proficiency bonus
Yeah.
plus your spellcasting modifier.
So that'll be your wisdom.
Which
So plus
so
4.
Plus
So
2,
14.
so it's a 14, which is damn good for a first level character.
then
And your attack bonus is just those two numbers added together. It's just the 6, the plus 6 you added to it. So you have a plus 6 to your attack bonus.
Okay. So.
Is Thorn Whip
so you
an
roll
attack?
that and add 6.
Yeah. Or.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a melee spell attack.
Okay, so you'll roll a d20 and add your spell attack bonus to it.
Natural 20.
Oh boy! Oh boy!
So what that means is you will roll
2d6.
2d6, and that's how much damage he'll take. How much piercing damage he'll take. And also you pull him 10 feet
Hold
closer.
on. What was your first roll of your first D&D campaign?
no,
It
roll
was
a
a second.
perception check.
You roll a perception
He
check.
rolled
and it was
first attack.
a dirty 20
20,
followed by
by a natural 20.
That's pretty
beginner's
good.
luck. Beginner's luck. Meanwhile, I'm rolling 2s and 3s on all my attacks.
Before I said that, I'm just gonna be like, yeah, this is what you get for messing with the dwarf. 9.
9. 9 exactly, you say.
No more, no less.
No more, no less. You give this man a kick on the ass after a long speech
About
getting
why
his
we
life
need-
together
yeah.
and morality.
Also,
and,
just so you know, that the
and,
fun
and,
doing the
and,
right
and,
thing.
and life
is
and
you can
death
pull
sort of
anyone
showcasing
larger,
his
smaller,
slaughter
10
and stuff.
feet towards
and
you.
it
So
makes
you
stripped
can
down his
be-
punishment. You give him a kick on the ass. You turn back, and it's like.
I just think
"Oh,
it'd be better if I
rings."
just
And as
whip
you're
them and then like, as he's running,
a
he
handful of
drops.
rings, you hear like the crack of a whip. and
A little uncomfortable.
turn around and watch the slaver fall dead.
Yeah, that'll show him. I'll say that and then go back to like putting on the rest of my gear.
So that's
Which they-
6 people.
Mm-hmm.
Will this breastplate fit me?
Because of the stupid D&D rules, yeah, sure.
Sweet.
And or at the very least, it could be adjusted to fit.
Okay. Kind of strap it to where to like work for now, and I might need to get.
Does
like,
anyone
hammered
have
into
change for gold pieces? Like any smaller
place.
currency than
Is
gold?
10 of that 50 his probably?
No, his 10
Is with his
stuff.
equipment. Okay. Well,
Brendan, you can just go ahead and that's a sort of. I just assume that gold is like a rough mix of
all
right,
whatever.
yeah,
So if you want to break your stuff down into change,
I'm gonna
just
be like, take it, and I'm gonna be like 15 to you, 15 to me, 20 to him because he did the heavy lifting.
All right.
And I say I grab some rings off him too. Maybe we could sell those whenever we're in town, and we can split that up too.
I'll just take one of the rings, and you can have whatever.
What all is there? I guess. Oh yeah, how many rings are there?
There'll be 4 rings.
Okay.
4 rings and a necklace.
4 rings and a necklace. I'll be like, we can divvy it up. This is the whole point of this is we're divvying stuff up. So I'll be like, first dibs goes to our friend here because he got the
not
most
to
kills.
dig too far into it because I don't know if it matters, but any relevant markings or symbols or anything on rings or necklaces, or are they just?
They don't seem to be religious or sort of like significant in that way. None of them are signet rings. None of them are carry the markings of any gods, or at least any gods you know. Or anything like that.
So, does he have a preference on which jewelry he gets to go sell?
You gave him
First dibs.
He'll take the necklace.
Okay. Is there a lot of
He was
Does this seem like the nicest?
He was gonna say no, but then I was like, "This is Avantius we're talking about."
And
He'll-
then
He
you
would
want
like
then,
some money. He got
you have
stolen.
2 rings and I have 2 rings.
Sure.
Does that seem fair? If he gets the necklace.
Yeah,
Sure.
He doesn't necessarily care. And Avantius has like rounded up one of the extra horses.
Do we want to take the wagon or will that slow us down too much?
As is, it would be slow. The horses will be better over deep sand. If you like took the cage out of the wagon, it would just be a wagon, and there is plenty of like sort of camping equipment and like supplies and stuff like that in the wagon. But it's not going to do all that well over like deep sand. It will probably slow you down, but it's not necessarily going to like. You're not going to just like lose it the first time you step off the road, if that makes sense. It's not. It's not going to just sink into the dunes.
Does it seem like removing the cage would be a lot of effort?
It'd be effort, but it doesn't seem like it'd be impossible.
It might be worthwhile just to be able to haul everything, and then we could even like.
It seems held down more by weight than like. It's not like bolted into the wagon.
Yeah.
Wagon might be nice, then people could like sleep on the road and stuff like that.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
So what brings you out this way?
The gods.
Ah.
Nice.
The gods? Whose gods? His gods?
Yeah, who's gods?
Well, his gods brought him here, and my gods brought me here, and I'm assuming you have different gods. What is your death god like? Is it a dog? How many heads does it have?
Our death god is he's sure something, all right.
It's best not to just start the conversation with them. They've been going on about this for 2 days.
Was a human traveling with an elf and a
Kenra.
Kenra. I keep wanting to say Curian. Like that's not right.
You can say dog people. That's fine.
With a Kenra.
You're gonna have to ask his gods that question. Both of them just walked up to me in the street.
I think we only met like a week ago.
You're gonna have to show me that move you did on horseback. That was a clean blow.
There's plenty of things I can teach you.
I'd like to learn it all.
Interesting. Well, I don't normally do this, but I owe you all a favor for rescuing me. So, if you need any help on this trek, I will gladly accompany you.
Well, we might just.
Yeah.
Clearly, this is a dangerous road, and your help would be appreciated.
While this is all happening,
Well, they can do some magic apparently.
Did you make that face grab the hand grab the guy's face? That was crazy.
No, I believe that was your other friend here.
Yeah, that's a thing.
How did you do that?
I don't know.
They can talk a little bit about certain members of theirs who are supposed to be touched by one god or another.
We have those born of the gods, but they don't make hands appear usually. They're just, big and strong and skin like iron. And
Should I also describe like what they see?
Yeah,
Yeah, what do you
So like obviously you'll see you notice a dwarf with a full long like black beard, kind of wearing a leather helmet, full leather gear, but around his shoulders is his wolf pelt. That's his trophy. And he's got a dagger, a crossbow, and pretty much an explorer's bat. One main thing is it's more for show, but on the back he has the shield with his crest on it.
What is his crest?
It's how can I describe it? It's like the front face of a wolf, but more split down the middle. So like the other side is something that's more, or it's like half wolf and then half like a battle cry or something, or not a battle cry, like a symbol.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Half Norse symbol, half wolf face.
Yeah.
Sweet.
While he's describing this and gathering the bodies, putting change on their eyes, and then wiping ash and incense on their head, just in the middle, prayer on the ground. That's it. Learn how to do this quickly so we can move on.
I obviously have my staff with me that I use. So.
Well, let's get this cage off.
I won't make you guys go for it.
Negative strength,
Yeah,
baby.
Just help me here.
Between
Plus one strength.
you can wrestle out the back of the line.
Okay, get off the back. Are the horses that are like drawing it? Do they seem like pretty sturdy, good horses?
Yeah, they're essentially draft horses, but they're clearly like acclimatized to the desert.
Okay.
They're smaller, but they seem fairly stout.
I'll pull some of like the tack and stuff off of my horse
Okay.
and just kind of latch it up to the side of the wagon so it rides with us.
Oh, wait, do you need medical attention?
Oh, I am. I'll be just fine. I don't want to get used to this. But I'll steer the wagon.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's easy to take, and Avantius just does take another horse. So you have just horses. You have 4 horses as well as the wagon.
The wagon has 2 horses, so a total of 6 horses.
Yes.
Okay.
You don't need to keep all the horses if you want. You could just cut them loose if you feel like just using the wagon. Or
I'd like to keep one like better riding horse and then the wagon. For if the wagon can't progress further and I want to go on horseback, not foot.
okay. Avantius will stay on horseback.
Okay.
I'm assuming he's with his horse. He's pulling the other horse that's not mounted by anybody.
Yeah, or you can attach it to the back of the wagon.
Okay. We can have like 2 on the back of the wagon.
I'll
2 in front of the wagon, 2 behind the wagon.
That we can pull in either direction.
I'll
Reverse! Someone whips the horses on the back.
It's like trains that have like engines on the front end.
Except the horses on the front are like getting drugged backwards. I was just gonna rip the wagon in half. Are you gonna ride in the wagon, or are you gonna?
I'll drive the wagon.
I'll drive the wagon.
His proficiency.
I'm good at driving wagons.
Okay, fine. I'll just sit on the wagon.
Oh, is this going to be an issue the rest of the game? Who drives the wagon?
No.
Once I have my chariot, it won't be a problem.
I told you. I was driving the wagon this time.
Mom, you said it was my turn to drive the wagon.
All right.
Just not putting up with this shit. We'll just ride off into the desert.
And we're off. Continuing on.
Okay. It is going to extend your time a little bit.
Real quickly though. What's your name, good friend?
Oh, you can. Most people just call me Wolf, but my allies call me Thorensen. Wolf Thorensen.
Well, Wolf, pleasure to meet you. Tersius.
Asim.
Avantius.
I like the idea that he was like sitting there like, Avantius.
You don't seem too thrilled to be out here, Avantius.
Kind of
As thrilled as anywhere else, I suppose.
I'm thrilled to be out here. Avantius, when you rode up and splunged your blade into him, how did it not peel it from your hand? What was the...
He got into a very a conversation that only people who are trained to like fight about it all. It's all about the grip and like you can't just like go charging in and just like with your whole arm stiff and just like stab with it, just like rip the sword out of your hand, like. And it's also about the sword itself, and like it's part of the reason sword grips are designed the way they are, and like he will spend a lot of time explaining that if that's what you would like him to.
I want him to. I want to learn.
To explain. It is having the wagon is going to set your guys' journey back by a couple of days, especially sort of once you turn off of the road and you're just sort of out in the desert. And this is the point where you're not like able to reliably resupply water.
Did they have a decent amount of supplies with them too? Good.
And
we
like
can store it on the wagon.
and they have sort of like a larger tent and like a generous number of sort of camping supplies and stuff like that. They don't have like everything off of the like mundane items list, but they have a lot of basic camping supplies, cooking equipment, stuff like that. Like what your guys have kind of been relying on up to this point is very sort of like military scout kit.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of specialized for cavalry or for soldiers on the move. This is, because they have the wagon, is a much sort of broader mix. Yeah.
Are we able to like kind of set up a tent on the back of the wagon to have a covered area back there?
Yeah, you could like kind of finagle something like that. Yeah.
Just in case someone gets a little sun-baked after a while, they can pop back there for a little bit, tie up a horse, and catch their breath, get some shade.
And you'll be heading like kind of from where you are another week into the desert.
Okay.
And reaching the end of it, especially sort of for the last day, out for a while and just sort of like, it's a lot of just like flat, hard-packed clay. It's a lot of like kind of rocky desert. But over the course of the last day, you reach this sort of like section of rolling dunes that's run sort of like, that sort of run on for miles, especially north and south. And like it doesn't take you long sort of passing into this like section of desert before rising up out of the desert in sort of on the horizon are just like jagged, low, rocky peaks that rise, like they rise straight up sort of out of the dunes themselves. And it looks very much like what you saw in your vision.
Hot damn! I didn't think that we were actually going to see something that looks like as relevant as this was.
Your god showed you this?
Something very similar to this, yes.
And we must be on the right path.
I hope so. Looks
You
like
said these were like rocky, or how do you describe it? Like cat.
Jagged.
Yeah. Very just like desolate, isolated, windswept peaks. There's you can't see a shred of vegetation anywhere. As you guys kind of approach these low mountains. The moon isn't quite full. I know it's going to be another day or two. I know you kind of
was worried about that.
Was worried about that.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why.
Were you wanting to? Do you have a plan for sort of like looking around, or are you just sort of like continuing to head towards the mountains, or like?
My thought is to try and, because I think that I saw one particular building or whatever it was.
A tomb. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to try and get as close to the area that I think that would have been in as possible.
Okay.
To match background and everything. I do remember it was desolate behind me and there were the mountains in front of me, so I don't know if it's specifically right here, but this looks like the general area that matched that landscape. However, in that vision, it was a full moon, and I don't know how relevant that is. I don't know why, but
Did you say it was a full moon today?
Almost.
It'll be another like day or two. It's very close.
Well, I'd say that's the gods telling us that that's the night we'll find it.
Fate.
So if we keep moving that direction, perhaps the gods will put it in our path.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and remain a little more vigilant than I normally would, looking at specific stuff as we move.
Okay, give me a perception check.
5.
5.
Yeah.
You kind of reach the point. It's sort of especially that night, like as you've like sort of traveled all day, and the mountains are significantly closer, and you're sort of just like setting up camp for the night.
Mm-hmm.
That you're like, you really feel like you're nearby to something. Like you feel like you're like kind of in the right area. Like this looks right,
But just don't see it.
but you can't see anything.
Okay. Yeah, I'll let them know, like, this feels right, but I'm not sure what I'm missing. Something about this.
There is no tomb here. But there is.
I'm keeping a lookout for a tomb, but I'm not like, this looks just like his vision. So if I'm just like, if I see a tomb poking
this
about the
looks
desert,
like, this looks nothing like any of the things you saw while you were high in the dead.
when the gods were giving me my vision, you
Right.
mean.
First thing he did was get to a town and get high as shit. So
That was like the third thing I did. All right.
Oh, right.
The
It was
first thing I
after we
did
murdered.
was first thing I did was get to a town and try to
Are
street
we
meet.
buying like? I mean, I know this wouldn't classify as like a structure or anything. Would I be able to make like an intelligence roll to like get a
there's
feel?
nothing that'll trigger that like stone sense thing.
Okay.
Yet.
Okay.
Once we get to the tomb, you might be. That'll be
Yeah.
useful.
Maybe that'll say.
There's, as far as you can tell, and you've been traveling, like your homeland is a long way off. You've been traveling for a long time. You've seen a little bit of like a whole lot of places, sort of in the in between, and a whole lot of different cultures. There ain't a fucking building out here ever. Like nobody would
We're
ever
looking for
build a
buildings. You're
building
like,
out
there's
here.
not
They
shit.
said they would daft to build a tomb in the desert.
Like if there's anything out here, it better be a tomb, because if somebody tried to build anything else out here, they'd die. Like,
Listen,
And so I did it. I built a tomb. It got covered by a sandstorm. So I built a second tomb. That one got covered by a sandstorm. So I built a third tomb. That one got raided, knocked over, then covered by a sandstorm. But the fourth tomb stayed up. And that's what you're looking for. Finest tomb in all these deserts.
pointing to a pyramid. They just wanted a tomb that wouldn't get buried in a sandstorm.
listen, Asim, I think
Pyramids don't get buried. They just get to become shorter pyramids.
Kind of me too. I don't even know what to believe anymore. To be completely honest, I'm
Brought you
worried.
out here for nothing.
That night is cold because it's the open desert. Peaceful because the moon is nearly full, and you can see for there are a hell of a lot of stars, and you can see just about as far as the horizon because the moon's as close to full as it is. You feel confident that ain't nobody sneaking up on you out here.
I assume we've been able to heal.
Yes.
No,
This, yeah.
travel.
This will be like a week after your combat.
I'm gonna be like, spar with me. Show me some of these moves.
I'm finally healed. Try and stab me.
Avantius will absolutely start.
I want to try and like spar with him and get some
just,
pointers.
yeah, learning what you can from
Mhm.
him. The next day is hot and boring.
My knuckles are a little sore from him like parry whack.
Literally nothing happens over the course of the next day.
No. That's
Would
another
I-
hill of
Would
sand.
any of you like to try my brew? Because I have a water skin. I was like, would any of you like to try my brew?
Of course, yes, absolutely.
A moonlit ale, is what I refer to it.
Whoop, whoop. How is it?
It's a good batch.
I'm gonna pass.
Some fine drink.
You will tempt.
Avantius will take a drink. It's alcohol. He's drank worse.
This is. What is this? Is this made of things native to your homeland?
Not at all.
Ah,
Nope.
well, it was good nonetheless.
This is his version of Bruno.
Yeah.
you made me drink prison toilet wine.
He asked native to my homeland. He wasn't specific of whose homeland. So
It's native to somewhere else. It's
yeah,
It's native to somebody's homeland.
yeah.
kind of much
Shit,
going.
I think I stole all of this from his homeland.
That night, as the sun goes down, and sort of this like sort of short time before the moon rises, and again it's cold. Like the open desert at night is freezing. It's really quite cold. The stars are out in full force. And you're all just sort of sitting around in camp. You don't necessarily like you like kind of have a fire going, but it all has to be with like sort of stuff you've brought. And those fires are small, and you're sort of running through that supply by this point. And as the full moon begins to rise over the horizon, and all of a sudden it goes from being very, very dark to like eerily bright, but with that just like silvery white light that lets you see horizon to horizon. A sort of fresh. The night's been very still. It's cold, but it's not breezy. But when the full moon rises, a breeze begins. That very quickly builds up and builds up until it's like it's whipping sand. The horses are kind of freaking out. Avantius is sort of like has like one of them by the reins, and it gets stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger, and then dies instantly. And maybe 50 yards off, sort of in the side of one of these grand dunes, is the entrance to a crypt.
One that I would recognize.
One that you would recognize, except this time the doors are open. And
Gods be praised.
Two of you, being the dwarf and the elf, feel a very strong urge to not go in there. You feel sort of a calling.
Well, I vote on staying out here with the horses.
I know we came here to look inside of that place, but I don't want to.
Oh, come on, Elf. Where's your sense of adventure?
We were meaning to work on that.
You were going to show me.
Trick anyway, I think.
I think the horses need some
maybe,
feed.
You know, if your gods are calling, your gods are calling. The Vlad. But,
Looking at each of them like
I never
sorry,
saw it in my vision.
I never had a vision.
Neither did I.
I am also going to
I'm
look
not
at my
even
shadow
terribly
right
religious.
now. I'm looking at my shadow. Like, I don't normally see you this time of night.
Yeah.
That's creepy.
Your shadow points at the tomb.
Yeah.
Do I notice it pointing? Because I kind of have an idea of the
Yeah. If you look at his shadow, you can see he like kind of looks down at his shadow, and his shadow points at the tomb.
Yeah, I think your shadow's telling you something.
I guess I'm gonna go in there.
Good luck.
So anyway,
No plan. Huh?
this is kind of and then the sweep, or is the sweep before?
Here,
If I'm not back in 2 hours,
Here.
just wait longer.
Here, take this.
I'm not back
Because I have 10 torches in my explorer's
right.
bag. I hand him I light it and I hand it to him.
Yeah,
Godspeed.
I'm taking that.
Right?
Cool. So, group adventure. I'm in there alone, right?
If we hear screaming, we will rush to your aid.
Okay.
Avantius kind of
Well, if the screaming stops, we'll assume that you've been killed, and we may not rush in. But if you continue to scream, we will quickly rush to your aid.
There's one problem I have with that. I don't think I've ever screamed in my entire life. So,
Well, if you need us, do.
okay.
Send your shadow. He seems reliable.
I don't know if that's how that works.
Was the shadow actually moving? I thought that was the hookah.
Off he goes.
You say that, and I'm just like, I'm gonna drink more of my beer.
You walk off into the desert.
Yep.
And sort of enter this tomb. And I think that's a decent place to end this
It's a
episode.
great place to end this episode.
Thank you everybody so much for watching. I feel like we've accomplished a lot.
Mm-hmm.
We got a new party member.
I might die. Stay tuned.
We might help.
Who knows?
We'll see what happens.
Anyone's guess?
Tune in next time for more of this little adventure. And if you like this type of stuff, we've got lots of other very similar content. Gameplay, reviews, going into detail on the sort of rules intricacies, or at least rules as written, of Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that. But again, thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.